Welcome to another tutor short provided by the Educational Support Services Department at Lehigh Carbon Community College in Schnecksville, PA, just outside Allentown. These videos cover key concepts for math and other math-based courses here at L-Tri-C. Please remember that the Educational Support Services Department does provide walk-in tutoring 5 days a week in math and other subjects. When you're doing this, there are 2 steps. The first step, you need to determine the slope of the line. There are 3 different ways to do this. Sometimes the problem will tell you m equals this or the slope is this. That's the easy way, it's given to you. Sometimes you'll have a graph where you have to look at the graph and figure out what the slope is, or you might need to use the slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, where your points are x1, y1, and x2, y2. Once you know the slope, then you need to use one of your forms, either slope-intercept form or point-slope form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Either of those will help you get the equation that you need. So some examples. First we have m equals negative 2/3 and the point 5, negative 4. So this one, the slope is given to us. We don't have to do anything to find it. It's right there. So since I have a slope and a point, I'm going to use point-slope form, which we said was y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. This is my x1, y1, and this is my m. So we have y minus negative 4 equals negative 2/3 x minus 5. But we always want to try and get this into slope-intercept form if we can, unless you're told to do otherwise. So y minus negative 4, subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive. So this side is now y plus 4. On my other side, I'm going to distribute. My negative 2/3 is going to hop in and make friends with everybody on the inside. Negative 2/3 x. Negative 2/3 times a minus 5 becomes plus, because a negative times a negative is a positive. Put my 5 over 1. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 1 is 3. This isn't into slope-intercept form yet. Y is not all by itself. We need to subtract 4 from both sides. 10/3 minus 4. Don't really know how to do that. I need to make my second one a fraction. That's what I need to do. So 10/3 minus, this is really 4 over 1, but to subtract I need a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply the top by 3 and the bottom by 3 and get 12/3. 10/3 minus 12/3, negative 2/3. So this is y equals negative 2/3 x minus 2/3. Or you could say plus a negative 2/3. Either one is right. Finding the equation of this line. This time we're given a graph. So we need to figure out what the slope is from the graph first. Slope, which is our m, is rise over run. So to get from my first point to my second point, I need to figure out how far this is rising. If I count this, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units up. So my rise is 8. My run, how far over did I go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 units to the right. So I rose 8 and ran 5. My slope is 8 over 5. Now I need to find a point to use. Well, I have 2 nice points sitting on my picture. I'm going to use this point, because in the first quadrant I know both my numbers are going to be positive, and I like positive numbers better. This point is located at 2 over on the x, and then we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So this point is at 2, 6. This time I'm going to use slope-intercept form to find my equation. My y that I picked from my point is 6. My m is 8/5. My x is 2 plus b. I put my 2 over 1 so I can work with my fractions. I get 6 equals 8 times 2 is 16. 5 times 1 is 5. Top times top and bottom times bottom when you're multiplying fractions. Plus b. So now I need to get b by itself to find out what it is. So I'm going to subtract 16/5 from both sides. How do I do 6 minus 16/5? Need to get a common denominator. Right now, this is really 6 over 1. So if I have 6 over 1 minus 16 over 5, I'm going to multiply the bottom and the top of the first fraction by 5 to get a common denominator. So it's 30 over 5 minus 16 over 5 equals 14 over 5. So 14/5 equals b. So the equation of this line is y equals, my m was 8/5, x plus 14/5. For this example, we are just given 2 points. So again, I need to start by finding my slope. And this time I'm going to use my slope formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is my first point, so I'll call it x1, y1. And then my second point, x2, y2. So when I plug that into my slope formula, y2 is negative 2 minus y1 is 6. x2 is 2 minus x1, negative 4. On the top, negative 2 minus 6 is negative 8. On the bottom, 2 minus negative 4, that's plus a positive. 2 plus 4 is 6. Negative 8 over 6 can reduce to negative 4 over 3. So now I need to decide if I'm using point slope or slope-intercept form. I'm going to start with point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. And I'm going to use this point and the slope that I just found to plug into this equation. So I get y minus y1 was 6 equals m negative 4/3 x minus negative 4. So y minus 6 equals negative 4/3 x. This becomes plus a positive 4, But then negative 4/3 times 4 over 1 is going to be a negative 16/3. Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. 3 times 1 is 3. So now to get this into slope-intercept form, I need to add 6 to both sides. So I need to do negative 16/3 plus 6. To add fractions, I need to get a common denominator. Right now this is 16 over 1. I need to get a denominator of 3, so I'll multiply top and bottom by 3. So it's negative 16/3 plus 18/3 equals 2/3. So I get y equals negative 4/3 x plus 2/3. Not all lines fall into those cases. Sometimes we have special cases with horizontal and vertical lines. The horizontal line on this graph would be the blue line, and the vertical line would be the red line. So we need to find the equations of these special cases. Now again, the horizontal one on this graph is the blue line. If we look at this blue line, it crosses through the y-axis, but never touches the x-axis. Since it crosses through the y-axis, this line is going to have an equation of y equals wherever it hits that y-axis. In this case, it touches at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down, so that's y equals negative 7. Anywhere I go on this line, right here, this point is 0, negative 7. If I come over here, this is negative 2, negative 7. The y is always going to be negative 7. So if it touches the y-axis, it's y equals. So the red line, which crosses through the x-axis, is going to be x equals. If we look at where this red line crosses through the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is x equals 6. There are special things about the slopes of these two lines, which we can see when we use the slope formula, which was m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. For our first set of points, we have 3, negative 2, and 3, 5. y2 is 5, minus y1 is negative 2, over x2 is 3, minus x1 is 3. 5 minus negative 2, that's plus a positive, that's 7 over 0. 3 minus 3 is 0. We're not allowed to divide by 0. This is undefined. Whenever you have a slope that is undefined, that is a vertical line, which means this is going to be x equals 3. Which, if you look at your points, they both have the same x-coordinate, 3 and 3. So no matter where you are on the line, x equals 3, you have an undefined slope. So if you remember, slope was rise over run. A vertical line never runs. Its bottom is 0. Then our last example, 112 and 712. y2 is 12, minus y1 is 12, over x2 is 7, minus x1 is 1. 12 minus 12 is 0. 7 minus 1 is 6. 0 divided by 6 is 0. A horizontal line will always have a slope of 0. So this line has the equation y equals 12. If I look at my points, the y is always 12. Just like the x was always the same when x equals, in this case y is always the same, so y equals.